I'm excited to chat to you because you have such an interesting topic to chat about.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about what you do that sets you apart from other people in your industry.
Yeah, so I run a boutique meta ads agency. Meta ads is Facebook and Instagram. And I would say what sets me apart is, first of all, I focus primarily on working with coaches, healers, conscious leaders, wellness brands, course creators. So, really, those that are making a difference in the world. And I deeply, deeply understand the world of healing and the coaching world. Um, and so that really sets me apart of like deeply understanding clients. And then that I bring in also my own intuition and my decade of messaging experience, because I feel like a big piece of why ads work or they don't work comes down to the messaging and the copy. Design, of course, is a piece, but like the main thing is the messaging.
And obviously, I know you because we've worked together in the past, and there's a lot of synergy with who you work with and who I work with, and there's an understanding of helping people really get their message out there. That's the one part. Obviously, getting people's offers sold in a way and creating more awareness around who they are. Now, one thing that you didn't mention, which I just want to chime in here, is you've worked with some extremely big names in the industry. And so, what you are doing here, you are working with the top, the cream of the crop of some of the incredible coaches. How has that been for you behind the scenes, working with these incredible women with incredible messages? How has that been?
First of all, it's so fun. It's like such a privilege to get to be behind the hood,
Yeah.
because it's like we see what is front facing and then getting behind the hood and being able to be of service. And, just like I feel like right now, we're recording this in May of 2025, and there's a shift that's happening in the industry. Like things that were working before are not working anymore. And whether you're at just like the 6-figure level or you're at the 7-figure level, everyone's feeling it to a degree. So, it's such an honor being behind the scenes and working with these larger, like really well-known clients. And we're also doing like the same, often foundational work of like really diving into the messaging and the sales psychology, because a lot of them have built their audiences through organic or books or different avenues. And then so then they come to me and they're like, I want to make paid traffic work. And I'm like, okay, well, it's a little bit different because this is cold traffic. And so what works before and what works now for organic and warm is a slightly different strategy for cold traffic. Like you really have to know, like at a deep level, the sales psychology of your ideal client, and then speaking that in the words that are true and authentic, but that are powerful and relevant for this current time on the planet. Like relevancy is really key. So yeah.
We were talking about this the last time we chatted about how things are shifting so rapidly and what's working before is not working now. And this is where I think in the past there seemed to be a strategy that everyone was adopting and
Mm-hmm.
everyone seemed to be doing the same thing and it seemed to be working. We're talking a couple of years ago. I've been doing this also for quite a long time. And then now there seems to be people I feel, and correct me if you think any different, because I'd love to hear your feedback. People are not, a lot more discerning when it comes to buying things and purchasing. There seems to be a lot more times that potentially people have been burnt. So, and again, chime in if you can add to that at all. That's my
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
People are regarded as people discerning, and that makes our job in terms of helping other people in the industry that have got some really great things to offer, how do we sell them authentically? How do we sell them with integrity?
Yeah.
How do we get the right people in front of our clients' audience? I mean, in front of our
Yeah.
clients.
Exactly. So I call it, what we're in right now is a trust recession.
Wow, I like that. Yeah.
So are people still spending money? Yes, they're still spending money. But like you just said, they're being so discerning on who they're spending money with. There's so many more choices and noise of coaches and healers and course creators. And with also the rise of AI, our trust meter is gotten even more hyper vigilant. Is this AI talking, or is this a real person talking? Like, am I going to get the depth? And I think also, like, 4 years ago in the coaching industry was like the wild, wild west. And we went through like the pandemic and everyone was buying all the things because they were home and they had space. And there were people, not fully in, doing the best they could, but maybe not in service in the way they could be, or people not getting the support they needed because programs were too big or whatnot. There's just like more discernment right now of like, okay, I did that program and I don't think I really got what I wanted out of it. Like, how is this gonna, support me with that? And so like it's really important in this trust recession to understand that, okay, people are going to have and need twice as many touches before they're going to decide to do business. So it used to be an average of 5 to 12 touches before they'll decide to do business with you. Now it's more like 12 to 20. And those touches need to be like intentional. Not like you need to be one-on-one messaging with them if you're a smaller like business, like yes, like do that. Like but if you're a little bit bigger, it's like, okay, how can you have those really deep, authentic touches? How can you be writing more from the heart? How can you be creating content that really is in support and not just flashy or bro marketing or serving them what that gets reactions versus like what's deeply supportive, which is a call for every single one of us to go deeper into our embodiment of work.
Now,
Yeah.
when I love all of that, and I think that when people think about Facebook ads or Instagram ads, there's an assumption that we're just wasting money on it. And the reason why I got you today is that I spoke to one of my clients as well, and she's a startup. She's been in the industry for a while. She
Yeah.
studied Facebook ads, obviously not to the extent that you have, but she really used it as such a great marketing tool to grow her and promote her first ever online course. And she completely attributes the success and being sold out just on her strategy of using Facebook ads as a kind of preempting and warming up the audience. And then when she obviously launched her offer, she had this incredibly big warm audience. And in her first month, she made over $10,000. This is possible. And I was just blown away by how she used it so intentionally. And that's why I kind of wanted to, bring you around and bring you on board, because I want people to see that this is possible. This is such an incredible avenue that you probably haven't been targeting or haven't been thinking about, or might have gotten burnt in the past because you tried to double it on your own.
Right.
And this is where someone like yourself and working with someone like yourself will help those conscious leaders bring their business and their intention to a new audience. Tell me a little bit about how you've seen that working for new people, new business owners, experienced ones. Tell me a little bit about that, because we have this assumption.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money and we're just going to waste the money, but that's not the case at all.
Right. So Facebook ads bring freedom. Facebook ads and when I say Facebook ads, I also mean Instagram ads too. Facebook and Instagram ads bring speed. Like they get you in front of people that are your people, but they're going to amplify what you have. So if what you have is not working already, Facebook ads is not going to fix it. But if you have a lead magnet or you have a masterclass that is working, then amplifying it with the power of ads is one of the greatest opportunities I think that we have, especially as women entrepreneurs. And I have so many clients that are crushing it with ads. And as simple as like starting with like what you were sharing, is starting of driving traffic to a really high quality lead magnet that gives people a taste of what it's like to work with you, either free or something low ticket. And then later launching something that's a little bit. It's such a powerful. As an agency is probably not the best thing. I would probably learn to do it yourself, or maybe have your VA go through a training. And then once you're at a certain level of income and you're really ready to amplify, then come to me. Um, but I started, before I niched into running Facebook ads for others, is I used it to grow my own business. And I started doing, online challenges, way before everyone was doing online challenges. And I did this like Instagram challenge of teaching how to use Instagram organically, and I drove ad traffic to it. And then from there, then I upsold into a higher ticket program. And I was like, oh my God, I had like my first, $80,000 launch. And I was like, what? This is powerful. And then I took on a client, and I was like, let me run your ads and let's do a launch event. And then she made $120,000. And I was like, okay, this is really incredible. And so it's like I said, it's freedom, it's power, it's speed, it's amplifying your soul's work. And right now, because there's more noise, you just have to be really a lot more strategic in how you're doing it. And but there's absolutely a high return when you're amplifying the right thing. So it's really good to be like either doing an ads course, working with an ad strategist, or having ad manager that's doing it for you is really key. Because I just see like, oh, these ads didn't work for me. And then I take a look under the hood and I'm like, well, yeah, because this is like not clear and it's vague, or you're trying to drive traffic right to like $1,000 offer. That's cold traffic. I'm like, that doesn't work. Like they don't know you. So it's like the right order with the right messaging and the right steps to make ads really work.
And I mean, what I'm hearing from you is that it gets to be easy. I mean, it gets to be easy.
Yeah.
And I think that as business owners, we tend, and I'm speaking to myself here, we try and do the things hard, realizing there's such an incredible tool right here in front of us.
Yes.
A burning question that I'm sure I have and other people do have, what would you suggest? Sending people to a free lead magnet or a low ticket offer, like a little masterclass, which is, or something similar along those lines, but a low ticket. What do you think is a better strategy?
Yes. So the easiest low hanging fruit is driving people to a free lead magnet, because right away you can be like, okay, great, my page is converting at maybe
Yeah.
35%, which is a really good benchmark. Once you get into something that's paid, then it just becomes a little bit more different things in the funnel that you have to look at, of like, okay, this is only converting at 5%. Why
Yeah.
is that? Which 5% isn't bad. And so there just might be some more things to tweak. Like if you do something that's like a low cost, it still has to be high value. So if you're selling something that's like $37, it still needs to be like $500 worth of a class because you're driving into cold traffic and you're asking them to open up their wallet.
Mm.
I am a huge fan of building buyers lists. Like I love building lists of people who have bought something. So I'm a big component with that. So ideally you're doing both and
Mm.
testing both and what works well. You could test the idea first with a free lead magnet. And then if you're like, okay, great, this is converting really well, and then move that over into, okay, I'm going to make this like a more robust thing and then sell it. But typically, if you want to drive cold traffic to something that's a sale, under, $50 is going to be more ideal. Once you go above that, it just gets a little bit harder because again, it's cold traffic that's never heard from you, getting them to open up their wallet. A lot of trust required.
And this is what it's about. It's about building that trust and having a touch point that people can see again and again. It does build that trust and curiosity as well. So people are curious. What is this thing that people haven't heard of this person that is coming up, and they want to dive into that. Tough question, but what kind of investments should someone think about making when thinking about Facebook ads or Instagram ads? Because I do believe that it's not a short-term investment. In other words, you can't expect to say, well, I'm launching something, I want it now. I believe that there needs to be a lot more testing of different designs, testing of messaging, and it might be a longer term investment that it's going to pay off a lot in the long run. What are your feelings about that?
Yeah, so it depends what your goal is. Like it's really great to just always be running lead generation ads. So you could be running those for, $25 a day. Doesn't have to be something crazy. When I go into launches with clients, like I love if they have at least a minimum of like $4,000 because that gives us like a lot to play with. Because let's say there's $4,000, you want 500 of that to go to your bottom of funnel sales ads where you're retargeting everyone into your offer. So you've only got 3,500, and if you divide that by cost per lead, depending on what niche they're in, it could be anywhere from $3 to $10 per lead. Live masterclasses, webinars tend to be a little bit higher cost lead for like a lead generation. So if you take that and divide that by 35, maybe that's going to be like 500 leads or maybe 800 leads. And then your live event, you're going to have maybe a 15 to 20% show up rate. Show up rates are really low these days, but people are watching replays. And like the keys to keep following up with those emails afterwards is your benchmark for launches is getting around 3% minimum of total signups to your masterclass to convert into your offer if you're selling low ticket. If you're selling high ticket to an application call, it's different numbers. But I love doing launches if someone's like, okay, I really want to go all in with Facebook ads. Like the first thing I say is like, let's start with a launch because I know we'll get quick data and I can typically get them like at least a 5x return on investment. It's like, promise anything, but depending on what the offer, and I'd be like, okay, like this is ready to do a launch, then we can get a quicker cash injection. So even if they're doing that internally and on their own, it's something to think about. But if they're in that place, you could start lower. Like you can get your feet wet. Like you can
Exactly.
play around with it. Yeah. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting like webinar registrations for only $4. I'm gonna throw a little bit more budget out at it, then you can do that.
I think this is such an incredible topic. So I mean, I appreciate you going and telling us all of these kind of insights that we don't get a chance to really understand. I know that on your website, and I will obviously leave that details underneath this video, you do have a digital marketing audit. Can you tell me a little bit about that? So people can go there, it's a free audit. What do they get and how can you potentially help people audit their digital marketing?
Yeah, so that's great. Like if someone's like, okay, I've got a launch coming up and I'm thinking maybe I want to run ads to it, but I'm not sure, maybe I'm not ready or whatnot, and they want me to take a look at maybe it's their sales page page or their masterclass page they did for their previous launch, like I will audit and look at it. Or if they have ads running now and they're like, it's not really like working in the ways that I want, and I want to see if you can improve them or maybe take them over, like I'll look and do an ad audit as well. So it kind of just depends on what they have, but you know that like something needs to improve or you're wanting to grow or scale it, like is it in the position to do that? Then I'm happy to do an audit.
I love that. And I know that I've got a lot of clients that are completely in line with your target market as well. So I'm definitely going to be sending them to you because I'm doing more and more sales pages. And this is what I love, because sales pages are the things that really sell your offer, right? It
Yeah.
gets the juiciness and the kind of core of your signature work, your
Yeah.
work that you're wanting to give to the world. Do you have any other advice for anyone who might want to dabble into this kind of strategic marketing like this?
Yeah, I just want to say like the world needs your magic. The world needs your magic. And Facebook ads are such a powerful way to amplify the magic that you're doing. And you can get started at any level and have fun with it and know that it's a process of lots of trial and error, constant tweaking, which is why we do what we do. And that, you know, the leaders that are really connected in with their soul and their embodiment of their work and then can articulate that in a way that speaks to the sales psychology of the ideal client, you're going to be ahead of everyone else. So keep studying and keep learning. And, you know, we have these tools now like ChatGPT. You can go deep into this type of research and just help give it a little oomph. But we're in really powerful times right now. So there's
I
lots of
love that.
money that's being made in our industry, lots of money still, and it's really exciting.
I just love what you said. And I think that if anything, they've got that message from you that, you know, the world needs your magic. And it's about doing the things that might be a little harder at first, but are worth it tremendously in the long run. In order to stand out from everybody else, you've got to do things that are different. You've got to find your niche. You've got to stay with it and stick with it. It is a longevity. This kind of work is soul work. So thank you so much for your time and sharing your expertise. And I know that I'm definitely going to be, sending so many of my clients to that digital audit. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Carol, thank you so much, and thank you for your magic. And yay to us helping to elevate the voices and the brands and the offerings of these amazing women we work with.
Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. You've got such a beautiful, beautiful way of speaking. So thank you.